morning. We're here with Jimmy Carton, the Bard of Irish Ballads, and we're continuing on in the series of History Bites, and in particular we're going through some of the great songs that Jimmy's recorded over the years and telling the story behind the song. So today's song that we're looking at is called Grace. So Jimmy, although this song is about Grace Gifford, it really is about Joseph Mary Plunkett, even more so. So who was Joseph Plunkett?
Well, Joseph Plunkett was one of the leaders of the Irish Republican movement, especially in 1916, one of the people who signed the Declaration, and the proclamation at Easter time, and the foundation of what now is known as the Irish Republic. He was, of course, because of that, to be executed in May the 5th, I believe it was, May the 6th, in Kilmainham. But he was also a poet and a teacher. So he was a real Republican. He was an ascetic, religious type of leader.
Oh, interesting. So you talk about him being a poet, and that brings to mind that one line that's always intrigued me in the song, and the line is, "His blood upon the rose." What is that all about?
It's part of a very famous poem he wrote. It was called "I See His Blood Upon the Rose," and indeed it's very, very evocative. I'll read you a little piece of it I have here. "I see his blood upon the rose, and in the stars the glory of his eyes. His body gleams amid eternal snows. His tears fall from the skies." That's just the first little part of it, and it's a poem that I know I learned in school about 100 years ago, but it became part of Plunkett.
Wow, beautiful. And so we know that the song is looking at Joseph Mary Plunkett, the man, the poet, and of course then indeed Grace Gifford. So tell us a little bit about who she was.
Well, of course, yes. She was a cartoonist actually, but she and Plunkett became sweethearts, and in fact were engaged in 1915 with the plans on marrying the following year at Easter time, as it so happened. But of course she became a part of the Republican movement, and just before Plunkett was to be executed, she found out he was to be executed, and the day before she went down in Dublin and bought an engagement ring, and she prevailed upon the authorities to allow her and Plunkett to marry on the night before he was executed in Kilmainham jail.
Wow, so romantic. So what happened to Grace after all this big momentous event?
She, as I said, she became part of the Republican movement seriously, and continued to work as a cartoonist and writer. And she was part of the anti-treaty group, and she never remarried, of course. And she died in 1955. She spent a lot of time traveling and raising funds for the various Republican movements. And in fact, I was here I believe in Canada and the United States on several occasions.
So this song really is about Plunkett, of course, and it's a song about the human love that he has for Grace, but it's also, it sounds to me then like his belief in his ordained purpose for what he was doing. So that song sounds like it was so much more than what I was imagining.
Well, certainly it has a lot more to it, and it's very deep. And funny you should mention that, because now if people go to watch, say, Glasgow Celtic playing in senior major matches, games, it's amazing to me that I hear a crowd singing Grace lustily. And this is like 20 odd years after we recorded it. I'm so pleased.
So it's really, it continues to inspire people, is
Absolutely.
What I'm hearing you say.
They appear to have adopted it, yes.
Wow, nice. Well, thank you for that. And now people can enjoy a little bit more of the song and know the story behind it.
I hope so, yeah.
As we gathered in the chapel here in old Kilmainham jail, I think about these past few weeks. Oh, will they say we failed? From our school days they had told us we must yearn for liberty. But all I ask in this dark place is to have you here with me. Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. Then take me out the door